niggas getting jealous of the wolves. Demons say they
So I wanted to do a video on my favorite firearm, and I chose the AK, specifically in 7.62x39. I know that that's not everybody's choice. Again, that's my favorite firearm, and I'm going to go over the reasons why it's my favorite. First and foremost, reliability. An AK, as most people know, it just works, and it's not going to stop working. Minimal care, minimal cleaning, this thing will just keep going and going and going. It's simple. The trigger group is so simple. You look inside and you're like, really, that's it? That's all that's in there? And that's why it's so reliable. There's so much room around the trigger group, and everything's so loose and has room to move, and it's amazing, the design, in my opinion. It's rugged, you know, and the cost is not tremendous, so you can feel good about doing whatever you want to do to it. You can do different modifications. You can paint it, as I've done. You can go buck wild, and you haven't invested a ton in the gun. So if it goes wrong, it's you don't have to worry that much. One thing I will say is that, and this is part of why I love an AK, is because, you know, if you want to add a piece on, if you want to add a hand guard or some other accessory, it's not always going to fit perfect. There's some slight, you know, Dremel work you may have to do, some slight modifications that you may have to do yourself. You gotta be able to work with the rifle in order to do some of the things that you want to do with it. It's not hard. It's really easy. It's taught me a lot about firearms in general, how they work, what you can do, what you can't do. One of the reasons why I really love AKs. Cost, again, I mean, I'm not saying that they're super cheap or anything like that, because not everybody has, you know, $350 to $450 or more if you go with one of the higher end AKs to throw around, but still less expensive than a lot of other firearms out there, including sidearms. I know the accuracy. A lot of people talk about the downsides. People always say an AK is inaccurate. Well, that, in my opinion, is false. It is as accurate as it needs to be. Can you reach out and hit something at 100 yards? Yes. 200? Yes. 300? Can you hit a silhouette target? Absolutely. It does the job. Is it as accurate as other firearms out there? No, probably not. If you've ever seen a slow motion of an AK firing, I mean, this thing moves and bends and does all kinds of crazy stuff. But that's part of why it's so reliable. There's room in there for the gun to do that. It will do that. It's as accurate as I need it to be. AKs to me are so easy to work with. Very simple design, very simple setup, very simple gun, really easy to take down. cleaning. You can do all kinds of things to make it run smoother. You can polish up the rails here. You can polish up the hammer to make the action so much smoother. You can do that pretty easily without worrying that you're going to screw something up. It's very, very easy to work with. Very easy to switch things out if you need to. You know, you can buy two, have one for spare parts that you can just pop in there. Another thing, another big benefit in my opinion is these guns are really easy to modify when it comes to the trigger group. You can purchase a full auto trigger group for one of these rifles, change it to be full auto, and it's a pretty simple process. Now, I would never recommend doing that without doing it properly and legally, but in a shit hits the fan situation, you can have a full auto trigger group ready to go and change it up if you need to really easily. Of course, there are simple mods you can do to make a regular AK full auto that I would not recommend because it's dangerous and you're gonna basically blow this thing up in your face if you probably do it, like searing off the sear, grinding off the sear. But it's not difficult to change the right way, the safe way, should you need to. This weapon is so simple, a child can use it. I mean, it's really that simple. Not to say that a child should use it, but they can, as long as they're using it safely and under adult supervision, obviously. But it's that easy to use. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, favorite.